Well, I guess I don't need to tell you all. Is everybody here first to start with?
We think so.
Usually we have to wait, so this is nice. I don't need to talk about why we're here because we all know why we're here today. You know, as your district attorney for the last 14 years, I always thought it was really important to be up front, to deal with issues, and present myself. And you know, that's something that I said when I ran in 2000 for the DA's job. If there are any issues, any problems, I'm going to be the first one in front of a camera explaining or talking about or taking the heat, and in personal matters as well as professional matters. And so that's why I'm here today. I think it's really important that I just talk to you all and say, here I am, I'm not running from anything. I knew nothing about APD's investigation until we received an email around 9:30 on Friday morning from the Journal. And I thought it was extremely important because I am the DA, that I not try to get any information. They asked me for a comment, and I didn't know anything about anything, and didn't want to use my position as DA to get information. And so I contacted my friend and colleague Peter Schoenberg and said, this is the email, and I don't know what's going on. And he aided me. I did think it was critical that I comment to the Journal, but I didn't know what to say. At this time, we do not have any police reports relating to the details of the investigation. Our only information comes from the Journal. I don't know how long it will take for us to get those reports, but we don't have them at this point in time. We have serious concerns about the investigation. Key people were not interviewed, including myself. We know this because Peter has made contact with a few of them and discussed what little we knew with them and asked if they had been contacted. Furthermore, we are troubled that the existence of the investigation was leaked to the Journal. There's no question that it was eventually obtained by way of an IPRA request, and you all are very familiar with that process. But a leak alerted the Journal to the reports in the first place. And you know, working with me and my comments times 10 over the years, the integrity of any investigation is compromised when there are leaks. At the very least, the motive for the investigation and its credibility is called into question. Because we have so little information, and I know we get you here and you all are all anxious, but because we don't have the police reports and we have so little information, I cannot discuss the facts of the case at this time. I can, however, tell you, and I can say this over and over again, that I never at any time violated the law. And I will repeat that again. I have never at any time violated the law. My friends and colleagues know this, and I thank everyone for their outpouring of support and confidence in me. I have received emails and telephone calls and all sorts of things indicating that they have confidence in me. I have practiced law for over 35 years. I just counted that up, and my record is unblemished. As district attorney, I have made some controversial decisions, but I have done so with integrity and candor. And once again, I've always stood before the media and before the citizens of Bernalillo County and the state of New Mexico and explained why I did what I did as best as I could. When it comes to my son, Justin, I have practiced tough love. I can see one individual in the room that I've had conversations with about that. I have never, nor would I ever do anything other than hold him 100% accountable for his actions. This starts from the time all of my children were born. I strongly believe that any other approach would not be in his best interests. It's because I love him that I practice this tough love, and I do hold him accountable for everything. My family and my friends are well aware of this, and in their dealings with my kids, I have asked them to practice tough love as well. Because of my tough love approach, Justin has not lived with me but maybe a few months since the time he was 18 years old. He has been in jail 3 times that I'm aware of, and I think it's I think that's that's right, but at least 3 times that I'm aware of, and I have never bonded him out of jail. I have never done anything to help him, and that's part of my tough love strategy. I have been open about his issues. I have talked to people about it. I have talked to the media about it. I've talked to people in my office about it, and I've never tried to hide that. Justin is I guess my third child, and he has a heart of gold. I mean, he truly has so many incredible qualities, but he's a drug addict. And I can't tell you how it breaks my heart to be here and to have to say that, but it's the truth. And we've been dealing with that for a number of years, probably real head on, at least for the last year and a half. I can't tell you the number of nights that I've laid awake, like other parents in my situation, worrying about him, wondering what he's doing, where he is, if he's had food, if he's had shelter. And like I said, I realize I'm not the only parent that is faced with this. I have done everything that I know how to do. My love for him, you know, is there. It's without question, despite all of the troubles and the anger and the upset. I do love him. Again, his only hope for recovery, and I believe this with every ounce of my being, is hitting rock bottom and being held accountable for all of his actions. That is my only hope that he will pull out of this. Thus, the reason for my tough love approach and why I have never done anything to absolve him from any consequences of his actions. As for my other 3 children, my oldest has been employed full-time and or going to school since the time she was 18 years old. She is busy preparing for her wedding, which will take place next year. My second daughter is attending law school out of state. She is completing finals. She's in her 3rd year, and she will be graduating from law school in May. My baby, and he gets upset when I refer to him as my baby, but he is my baby, is finishing up his 1st semester of college in California. So they are doing well. I think it goes without stating that these kinds of allegations are devastating. They're devastating to my children, they're devastating to my parents, and they're devastating to my siblings. We all live here, and this has been our community. I was born here in Albuquerque, and they're very devastating. But I've hit a lot of rough spots in the road in my lifetime, and I have never, ever gone through anything that was difficult or challenging that didn't make me a better person. And that's my philosophy, and I'm sure that I will learn a lot from this experience, and I will come through it as a better person. And I hope the same for my family, because it's very difficult to see them suffer. It's important to me at this point in time, and I would say this on behalf of anyone, is that what we're talking about here are allegations. Mere allegations, not even charges, but allegations, and nothing else. They do not relate to my job as district attorney or actions taken in my role as district attorney. It will be business as usual at the district attorney's office. I will continue to give the public my best efforts and uphold all the responsibilities of my office with the integrity that I have exhibited throughout my career. I so look forward to the day when I can stand before you all once again when this matter is resolved. I expect you all to give it the same amount of coverage that the Journal gave the initial allegations. And I really thank you all for your time.
Kari.
Now, I said I'm not going to answer any questions, any facts relating to the case, because we do not have police reports. And you know, let me tell you, I've dealt with all of you over the last 14 years, and whenever you have a question about a case or you want to get some information, I have always said, or Kayla has said, let us talk to the attorney, let us get all of the information so that we can talk to you and we can give you something that's accurate. That's all I'm saying here. You would expect no less from me, and I think that the people deserve that.
This is more of a personal
Okay, sure.
question. You have been open about you've adopted a lot of foster kids.
Well,
and raised them.
I had foster kids prior to the time that my oldest was born. I had 3, I was a foster parent. And then I had my kids. I adopted my kids. In a way, I think that's an unfair distinction because they're as much a part of me as if I had not adopted them. But yes, I did. I adopted them all at birth. It was an arrangement. We went through an adoption agency. Actually, with Justin, I was at the hospital and present during his delivery. I also was with my baby. But they are my kids. They were meant to be my kids. I felt like I knew them before they were born, if that makes any sense. Moms can understand that.
Kari, in terms of you're saying that they are mere allegations from the journal, but, and you say that you didn't break any regulations or laws, but in terms of what the journal asserted, had you reached out to any of the alleged victims of Justin's incidents?
I can't, that's discussing the facts of the case, and I'm not gonna go there. Please, just let me treat this case like I would any other case that you all would come and ask me questions. We really need to be fully informed. We had, 48 hours ago, as of, 9:30 on Friday morning, we had not a clue that this was about to happen.
Kari, will you continue with your probe of any police shootings, including the boy shooting? I
said it's business as usual, and the part of me that says that is the part that got elected and told the people and taxpayers, I'm going to be working on your behalf, and I'm going to continue to work on their behalf. I feel morally and ethically obligated to do that. So I've got work at the office. I worked a lot during the weekend. I will continue to do my job.
Why do you think this is happening? You had commented about the leak of the investigation to the journal. Why do you think this is happening?
I think it's best that we not even go there because it did happen and we're dealing with it as taking the high road. And I was just thinking this morning, I always like to say, well, we have to take the high road. We have to take the high road. Sometimes taking the high road, you're lonely because it seems like you're the only one taking the high road. And then I thought, but solitude can be a good thing. And so that's my answer to your question.
How do you feel about not being contacted by APD of the investigation?
Once again, I think it's concerning, and I said that in my statement, and I'll stick with that.
All due respect, this is not like any other case that we would be coming and talking to you about. You're the suspect in this case, so I have to ask you, did you, as the journal story reported, contact Mr. Sinha and offer Mr. Sinha money in exchange for not pressing charges against Justin? It's a very simple question.
That act would be illegal, and I said I did not, absolutely, without any hesitation, doubt, or question, commit any criminal offense. I did not do anything wrong. I can say that.
So you're saying
so I don't know the facts of the police reports. I can tell you I absolutely did not do anything wrong. I am so clear in the way that I conduct myself, and I expect the same from others in our office. I am absolutely clear that I did nothing wrong or I did not commit any violation.
So that's to say that the allegation, as reported in the journal, is false.
Well, you're trying to get me to comment. I can only speak what I've already said, and that's as clear as I can make it, Jeff.
Kari, because of, you say business as usual, if in the future you do find some officer probable cause to prosecute an officer involved in the shooting, they might say, well, this is retaliation. She hasn't prosecuted since
right.
We're investigating. Do you feel that that'll be a conflict at all?
We may have to think that. Certainly, we've always been, once again, I'm an attorney. I have an ethical responsibility to avoid any kind of conflict. So we will definitely be evaluating that.
Can you speak to where you are in the process in terms of the Boyd shooting? Are you close? Are you weeks out? You have told us previously you expected that case to be completed by Christmas.
No, I don't think so. I think we said that we expected something next year is what I intended on, saying in the spring of next year. I've said that, yeah.
Is that still the timetable then for the Boyd case?
Right now, please, whenever I say that, we have timetables that move. We have people that get sick, that change our timetable, but that is still what we hope.
Have you been contacted by the Attorney General's office?
No, I have not been contacted by the Attorney General's.
How
I mean, I
long
have
you-
had contact with them throughout the last
About this
35
case-
years.
About this case?
No, not about this case. I have not.
Has APD contacted you today?
Not to my knowledge. No, they have not contacted me. I don't know if they've left any messages for me, now that I'm here, but no, they have not.
You've been very open about your relationship with Justin, with us, and the tough love. Just to be clear, you've never interfered with any of his cases, sought any preferential treatment, you didn't bond him out, nothing.
Tough love is my practice, and I've even had conversations with Justin, because tough love is really hard. And I'm an only parent, so I'm always second guessing myself. His father died when he was about 12, and so am I doing, I'm a parent like anybody else in the room that's a parent. And it's really hard, and there have been times when I have spoken with Justin about some of the difficulties when he was doing better, and he has told me that he thought the tough love approach helped him. And so that reinforced it and made it a little bit easier for me. He didn't ever say it was easy, but he said that he thought that it was helpful.
Kari, where do you go from here?
I'm going right over to my office and starting to work is where I go from here. We're trying to get the police reports. We would like to have all the reports, and we would like to we'd like to put an end to this as soon as we can, but we have to know what we're dealing with.
It's just gnawing on me, Kari. I apologize, and this dovetails what he was saying. Irregardless of whether there's the insinuation of any wrongdoing, did you, bottom line, even speak to any of these people? I mean, that's irregardless of
You
the
know what?
police
I'm
report.
just not. My attorney might not want to represent me anymore. I said I'm not going to do that. So please, respect that. I'm here. I'm answering, questions. I'm being as open as I possibly can. I ask for the same respect that I've given you over the last 14 years. Okay.
Kari, a question from me here. It occurs to me that, a number of us here probably know exactly what it feels like to have a troubled kid moving into adulthood even. Drug addiction and the crimes that go hand in hand with drug addiction are pretty well documented. In our cases, though, we're not the top law enforcement official in the county, in the Second Judicial District. How do you balance the two things, given that many people have been in your predicament before, but none of us have been the top prosecutor in the judicial district?
It is, I'm honest with you guys. I am who I am, and I've talked about personal things. It's very difficult when you're an only parent, and maybe that's not a big deal, but sometimes I wish I had someone to talk to or some counterbalance to me. But when you're an only parent and you have a high-profile job and you're working a lot, and sometimes work takes precedence when your kids have problems, they are on the news probably more than people that have committed homicide. I think it is difficult on them. I think it takes a toll on them. I know it certainly does on me and my parents. And it just makes things a whole lot more difficult. I didn't, when I ran for DA, it was a dream that I had when my dad was DA. I did not realize, I asked myself, am I tough enough? Can I do it? Do I have the knowledge, the experience? I never asked myself, how will it impact my kids if they get in trouble, or will they be treated differently? Or, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. Of course, my kids were a lot younger then. And it's painful, but it's a reality. And I've told them, if you all get in trouble, you're going to be on the front page of the newspaper. To me, the easy solution to that is not to get into trouble. But they are human beings, and they have frailties, and we try to deal with it as best as we can. All families have difficulties and have challenges, different challenges. This is one of our challenges. I can tell you, and I don't mean to sound like Pollyanna, but I do think it's made us stronger. I do think that Justin's addiction has made me a more compassionate human being. I don't see the white and the black. I see a lot of grays. I do think it's made me a better prosecutor. I did a press conference on heroin, and I don't remember exactly when it was, but heroin addiction and how it has really impacted our community. And what really motivated me to do that press conference was Justin. And I wanted to speak to the people to try to give them some information and help them as as I would want to be helped. So it's a challenge. I like to think every challenge is going to make me a better person. When you're going through it, it's a little tough.
Are you worried about his safety? Because he's still in jail.
Yes, that's an issue. But
Carrie,
it's out of my hands.
You say that you haven't broken any laws, and you're just not gonna talk about the specifics of the case,
No.
whether you spoke to, Mr. Senna or the Barrows before.
That
the
will
joint-
all be forthcoming.
Fair enough.
That will all be forthcoming.
Here's my question, if you didn't break any laws, do you believe that you've committed any ethical breaches in relation to what's been reported in the newspaper so far in regarding your son?
You mean in my actions, ethical breaches?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. Moral breaches, ethical, professional, legal, on any plane, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I hope you know me well enough. I don't, I'm truthful, I'm open, I'm honest, I put myself out there. I would not be saying these things. You would not be hearing from me today if I had an ounce of doubt.
On one of his larceny cases, it's being, it was conflicted out. Did you conflict that out?
I don't know if I conflicted it out. I know in the past I don't even want anything to do with it, so I'll have one of my chiefs conflict it out. But if they're not around and we need to get it out, I don't know, but it was any case involving any member of our office, this family member, we conflict those cases out.
Carrie, most of the knock on you, related to APD at least, has been that you're way too soft on the cops. I want to ask again the question that Chris asked. Why do you think this would be taking place? If you're standing here in front of us and saying that you've done absolutely nothing wrong, morally, ethically,
Right.
legally, whatever, why would APD spend a year investigating you for something like this and then send a case up to the Attorney General's office and leak it to the Journal?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't get that I'm soft on cops from APD. We get criticism that we're tough because we're always prosecuting them for any number of different things. And we get that they're angry with us because we're prosecuting them. We get that they're angry with us because we hold them to a high standard. I think we work well together. So when I say they're angry at us, that doesn't mean that we're not cooperating and we're not working together. I think we have a common goal. But no, I get a lot of criticism from members of APD, but I would expect that. That's normal. We work together. We've got time limits. We've got too much to do, too little time, too few resources. So I just think that's all normal. I can't speculate, and I really don't want to speculate.
Could if any other parent. had a
Okay,
child who
I
committed-
guess I got my one last question.
If any other parent had a child who committed a crime, could they basically pay the alleged victim so they wouldn't be prosecuted?
I don't know. That's a legal question, and I'm really not, I haven't studied the statute, so I can't. And it depends on the facts again. It's not that simple. So I really can't answer that. You're asking me that in a vacuum, and I need all the facts. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate it, and I do look forward to the day when we'll all be back, and it'll be under a lot better circumstances.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you. My paperclip.